YouTube. Man. Today ain't been too bad. Wasn't too bad. I got unloaded this morning. It was cold, and like the chains, had like the little frost on them. And I bought some gloves, that was supposed to be I could use, when it get cold. So I forgot I had them. So I hopped off the top of the load, went to get the gloves, and realized that I bought the gloves a size too small. So I'm like, oh man. But I said, if it gets to the point that my wife comes to ride with me, while it's cold, then, at least she'll have the gloves. I'll just have to bear with it. So I got unloaded, and I started heading back towards Birmingham because obviously I figure, well, I'll at least go get something, from around that area. So he calls me. So he's like, I got two options for you. Now, I'm like, okay, well, he got two options, right? So he was like, all right, we got one going to like Queensboro, New York. As he's saying New York, I'm like, nah. He's like, we got another one to like Wildwood, New Jersey. And then he was like, got one. And then he was like, another one just popped up like to Romulus, Michigan. But it got like 3 stops. I'm like, 3 stops? So he was like, yeah, man, the one to New York, it pay this, whoop-de-woo. New Jersey pay this, whoop-de-woo. So as he's calling me, I'm like getting off of 280 and I'm merging onto 459 like that. And so I'm like, I kind of be interested in the one in Michigan because I don't want to get too far east, because you get too far east, man, you just going to be, you just stuck over there. And so, but it got too many stops. So he was like, oh, wait a minute. They sent some more over. So, long story short, I ended up picking up one going to Bettendorf, Iowa. And so, my thinking was, I've been up to Bettendorf before, but I'm trying to think. I don't really remember where I went to. And I don't even know if I even have that load still in my my clipboard because I keep them in order, because as soon as I scan them, I just put them in there so they just automatically stack in order. So I probably have thrown away the one that showed me going to Bettendorf, and then I can kind of look at it and see, okay, well, this is where I went, after that, and I kind of know why I went to pick up and why I got to. So right now, I made up here to Mount Vernon, so I'm still about 300 miles away. But the load doesn't deliver until Thursday. It specifically says on the paperwork, like, pick up on the 8th, deliver on the 10th. So, I was supposed to, like, my time will be back at like 4 a.m., but, since I'm not, dropping the load off, tomorrow or anything like that, because it said I got to be there like 7 a.m. Thursday, so I'll just, get up at like 6 or 7 or something like that and just drive, because it's, like I said, I'm still like 5 hours somewhere. I'm still like 300 miles away, which is like 5 hours and something. So I'll make it on up there somewhere, stop. I got to call them and figure out where exactly it's going to, and whatnot like that. It'd been good if I could drop it tomorrow. I got some lint in my hair, man. Good if I could drop it tomorrow, but it is what it is. But because I talked to my partner today, and I was like, man, the New York thing. And so what was crazy about the New York thing, the New York load is like the spot that it was saying go to. I'm like, man, it sounds so familiar. And so when I was looking at my phone at the map and seeing where it was at, I was like, oh, this kind of like over there by Long Island City. So like my very first time I went to New York City, I remember going there. And so what was so crazy about that was I was delivering to like an ABC supply, man. It was so crazy. So ultimately, I had to go over the GW Bridge. And if anyone has never been to DC, I mean, not DC, never been to New York before, New York City, not upstate, but New York City. Upstate is cool. I've been to upstate, cool. Country, you know, open. NYC, nah. So, I remember, man, you got in the toll booth, it jumped to 8 lanes. And just almost immediately after you pass through the toll booth, it goes right back down to 3 lanes. And nobody cares that you in a truck, nothing. So excuse me. So I remember I was probably like a mile and a half away from the spot. So I don't know if y'all can picture this, right? So I'm going like straight, right? But like it's another road that like goes to the left. And I'm looking at the GPS, you know, and this is like back when I was at TMC. So I'm looking at the GPS and I'm tripping because like the GPS is kind of like telling me to go left, but like going left is immediately a bridge that says like 12-4. But like at the last second, it kind of shows that no, you're gonna keep straight. You're not gonna veer left. And so like I mapped it out, I Googled Earthed it, I did every single thing. I prepared like I don't know what to get off in there because I said, I mean, you gotta make it. Like it ain't no you missed the turn and you go and turn around somewhere. Like, nah, you gotta be on your P's and Q's, right? So I get to a turn, like the turn that was gonna take me to the place. And like it's a car, like the cars are lined up on both sides of the road. I'm like, I can't even like button hook to even get the truck in enough to where I can drag the trailer around enough. So I'm like, no, I can't do that. But luckily it actually ended up working out in my favor because the next turn I made, I was able to make it and I was able to turn and actually get to the place and actually get lined up, you know, where I need to get lined up and unload. And so I was telling my partner, I was like, I think the GW Bridge toll, it's like $100. So that's 100 across, 100 back, all right? Then you got a bunch of hills and stuff to get up there, right? It's like 1,100 miles away from like Bessemer. So I told him, I said, man, when you add all this stuff up and then you add up the deadhead back to where you're gonna pick up, plus the money for the next load that you would pick up to try to get you back, you know, in a lane that you want to be in. I mean, like the load that I took up here to Beddendorf, like that's almost to me. That's probably what you would have actually profited off of that load, you know, as far as like the percentage, like after all the deductions and once you add all this stuff in. So basically, that's what it would have been. So I like, nah, I'm good. And I ain't trying to go up there anyway because I know I ended up having to stay up there one night, man. And again, if you ain't never been up there, like Jersey and stuff like that, they have like a no idle rule. Like after 30 minutes, you have to turn the truck off. And I'm like, that makes absolutely no sense at all because it's like, you know it's cold up there. I know y'all probably on your little carbon neutral kick, but like, man, if it's 20-something, 30-something degrees outside, man, you cannot expect someone to leave a truck off, you know, but that's their rules, you know. I mean, if you got an APU or something on your truck, you know, I mean, it don't make you a bit of difference or whatever like that, but I don't have all those fancy gadgets on me, so like, nah, I'm good, right? So so yeah, I made it up here like I said, I made it up here to Mount Vernon. I made it up here probably about 6:30. And one thing about when I come up here, I always stop at this truck stop. So the one tripped out thing about it is like you got parking like in the front, like right next, like right by the store. And then you got like go down a hill and it's like more parking. And then further down, it has like where oversized people can park it and stuff like this. And I'm always like, it's always interesting to me, right? Because cats will literally make spots close to the front of the store because they're too lazy to walk from down here all the way back to the store. Now, it's a nice little walk. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's a nice little walk, but it's not equivalent to like if you were at the Iowa 80 or if you were at the Petro in Joplin or if you were at the Petro in Raffiney or something. Like, it's not that long of a walk, but at least I know the Petro in Raffiney, they got like a little guy in a like a little scooter, and he'll come pick you up or she'll come pick you up, and take you to the store and stuff like that. But it ain't that long of a walk, and I feel like this is probably the best area to stop like out of anywhere I've been, because you got a TA, you got a Pilot, then you got this Flying J that I'm at. You got a Walmart next door. You got a bunch of restaurants. You got some hotels. So it's like the ultimate spot if you want to do a 34. Like, it's the ultimate spot. And then I think like it may be something else down the road too. And Effingham, which is a little bit further north, it's good too because I think it's like an outlet mall up there. So like Mount Vernon, Effingham, like anytime I'm in these two areas, like it's why I'm stopping at, because it got it got all the amenities that you need, you know what I'm saying? Whether you're here for a 10 or whether you're here for a 34, whatever it is, right? But yeah. So tomorrow, when I leave, I'm going to get up and I'm going to get on 64. I'm going to run 64 over to St. Louis. But I got to look at my map, though, because like in my phone, it's telling me I'm not going to run all the way to St. Louis. It's another little road that it wants me to jump on to run up to 55 without having to go into St. Louis. So matter of fact, let me look at my map now while I'm here, and I'm gonna actually see if that's even a road that I even want to try to even get on, to see if it's a situation where I don't have to drive all the way to St. Louis and get on 270 or whatever like that, and you know what I'm saying, go into St. Louis. So basically, I'm looking at it now, and I think it's it's this road, like 127. I think it's 127. So I'm looking at the atlas. The 127 is like pink, so it's like a 2-lane road. So I ain't even trying to deal with no 2-lane road tomorrow. So I probably will just end up just running to Missouri and hopping on 270, running 270 around into 55, and just run 55 up there until I run into whatever it is that I'm running into, and then I can get on up there to where I got to get to. Is it 270? I think it's 270. I guess that's 270. Yeah, or 470. Whatever it is. But yeah, I'm gonna run it around at 55, and then I'm gonna run up 55, and then I find somewhere to stop up there around Davenport or something like that. But if I had some more time, man, if I wasn't so adamant about getting to the crib that weekend, I wouldn't mind going a little bit further over, maybe going, stepping into Iowa 80 and getting some stuff for the some stuff for the truck or whatever, like they give me some straps and some stuff like that. But it is what it is. Ain't nothing wild happened today as far as like people driving. Well, yes it did. Yes it will. It was a Tesla, man. Like in the left lane. We was in 3 lanes. I was in the middle lane. The Tesla in the left lane, and then there was like another truck like in the right lane, and so like they had came over like at the same time. The Tesla didn't even throw his signal light on or nothing. I was like, man, it's crazy, man, because it's like it's stuff like that, man. When you ride, and accidents happen, man. You know what I'm saying? Accidents happen, but it's just crazy because little stuff like that. Negligence can just takes, just take somebody life, take a lot of people's life. Honestly, it just, just depends on where it happens at and the severity of the issue, and it just, slows down traffic and, just all that kind of stuff like that, man. But and then when I was coming up here, they were doing some road work, and a barrel was in the left lane, so it was a car in the left, and so by the time they got up on the barrel, they like jumped over to the left, like on the shoulder. Luckily, it was a shoulder, because if it wasn't a shoulder, they were either gonna hit the barrel or they were gonna just run into the median or whatever. But luckily, it was a shoulder right there. They hopped over there. The car behind them hopped over there, and so they missed the barrel, whatever like that. Because I'm like, it could have been bad. Because I seen a truck. This was probably a couple of weeks ago. I was going up 81. And one of them barrels was there. And I was on the phone with one of my partners. They got a Volvo. And I told him, I said, man, it was a Volvo behind me. I said, man, that Volvo, he ran completely over the barrel, but the barrel didn't come back out the back. And so he was like, man, that thing probably pulled out kind of, lines and stuff out, because he was saying, like, a lot, obviously a lot of lines and hoses and stuff like that, on the bottom of the truck and stuff like that, and going like 65 or 70, and you hitting it and it flattens and goes up underneath there, it probably has the tendency to take something out. And I was steady looking in my mirror, and I told him, I said, man, he ain't coming no more. I said, he had to pull that thing over, man, to get that barrel from up underneath, where it was wedged under there. Because I know a couple of years ago, back when I was at TNC, man, Joke ran a barrel over, man. The barrel was stuck, like, in the back of the trailer, and he just creeping through the fuel island, like creeping up to the fuel island, like he didn't know that he ran a barrel over, like it was no sense of urgency to get back there to take the barrel off and nothing. Like, he about to just go get diesel and pull out, So that, it's wild, man. It's wild. All kind of wild stuff out here, man. Crazy. But anyway, man, I got an email to send, and I'm gonna read a little bit, man. Since, like I said, I ain't gotta get up necessarily early. I really don't have to get up early at all. Like, I probably could leave here by 9 or 10 tomorrow, honestly, and get to where I gotta get to. But I'm gonna probably read a little bit, because I said I'm gonna read a little bit, and send his email. And I'm gonna call it a night, man. And cause last night I had 5G at the spot I was at. It was just one bar. It was 5G, but I couldn't do nothing. Like, I couldn't, like, log on to, like, the internet or nothing. I really couldn't even talk on the phone. Like, I was talking to my wife, and every few minutes the call would just drop. Like, I got a hold up for like 45 minutes, and it just dropped. And I'm like, man, they ain't got the 5G, worked out, like, talking about. And sometimes I don't even like being in areas. When I look and I see it's 5G, I'm like, man, especially if it's one bar, like, man, shoot, they're worse than, like, not having no service at all, because it, like, the phone is, like, it's breaking up and stuff like that. But anyway, but yeah, man, I'm gonna get back with y'all tomorrow, man, probably in the morning, man, before I head out. And I'm gonna figure out where I'm gonna stop at, get close by. And one thing I'm gonna say, man, I'm proud of myself, because 2 times this week, earlier in the week, I could have been lazy. Monday, when I drove all the way to the spot, I could have been lazy. I could have stopped further back, didn't have to stop at the place, could have stopped way back in what was it, Gadsden? Yeah, Gadsden, Alabama, at that Petro. I could have stopped way back there, drove them 90. And then yesterday, I could have stopped way back up in Dodge City and then drive all the way down there. So I'm actually proud of myself, man, because I'm actually somewhat of a, I'm ahead. So I'm happy that I chose not to be lazy. So maybe I'm on to something. Maybe I'm on to something. Because I gotta shake this laziness, man. I gotta shake it. I have to shake it, but I'm actually proud of myself, just this week, man. Even though I'm gonna be lazy tomorrow when I get up, but it is what it is. Cause my partner was telling me, man, I try to get on over there. I'm like, man, I understand. I see. I know what you're saying, man. But they put pick up on the 8th and deliver on the 10th for for a reason. So I don't know, if they ain't got the spot cleared out for it. But that's what it specifically says on the paper. So what can I do? Anyway, man, I ain't gonna hold y'all no longer, man. I get with y'all tomorrow, man. Y'all be easy. Y'all be safe.